Seminar A in Crop Science Horticulture Option. To start with, this is my research article to be presented. And this is the environmental impact of production horticulture. Let's have the overview of the topic. It tackles the primarily involved in the mass production of an horticulture affecting in the environment, such as land, water, labor, inputs such as pesticides and fertilizers. In using of the said production, it always have a negative effect, and in addition, transportation of the horticultural product in a long distance travel as well as air transportation has known to have an impact on the global environment. Furthermore, let's have our introduction. The most important aspect of horticulture production is the extensive utilization of resources such as inputs, fertilizers, and pesticides, as well as land, water, and labor. Using such as device, concentrating resources in a limited amount of space and time can have a negative impact on the workers' well-being and the local environment. And we have these environmental threats. First is land. Land is one of the important in horticultural industry to have a sustainable crop productivity and very essential. After a year's growing of greenhouse in horticulture production have a negative impact in the environment. One of it is the land and soil degradation caused by erosion from water and wind. Horticulture is one of the largest user of fresh water with a 70% blue water withdrawals. And according to ANO 2012, in the year 2030, there is expected 40% shortfall between the supply and demand for the fresh water. And it is mainly caused by the horticulture crops were irrigated. One of the important aspects of horticultural enterprise is the extensive use of labor. People make use water before and after work, and it may result to a reduce in biodiversity. More people, the more it uses natural resources, and it also threatening future water security and local ecosystem, which it is already endangered. Next is fertilizer. An intensive crop production really needs higher levels of inorganic fertilizer. To producer is less important, and as a result, they may apply in excess, therefore increasing the risk of land and water pollution. And we have this schematic representation of the inputs and outputs that have the potential to have an environmental impact from a greenhouse in Northern Europe. From the inputs such as fertilizers, pesticides, energy, heat and light, and transport. And this uses from greenhouses for intensive plant production. And for the output, we have this runoff, leaching, nutrients in water, pesticide residue, and waste. The use of pesticides has been perceived as the greatest direct threat to both humans and the environment. The global warming and climate change. Horticulture contributes to global warming and climate change through energy combustion, transportation, and refrigerated storage, as well as land inorganic input. We have this environmental management and methods for analysis. Through limited of the totality of horticulture has an impact on the environment, To control and reduce environment impact of a process, a service or product, it is important to measure or predict its impact. And we have strategies to minimize horticulture's impact on the environment. These strategies developed to manage the potential environmental threat from horticulture production. And there is two major forces. First is legislation. Both national and international legislation to protect the environment, and it is how well developed. And we have this private voluntary standard. This PVS standard requires the growers to comply with good agricultural practice, including environmental protection that is independently certified. And we have this method in reducing environmental impact through the adoption of technical solutions and the use of the best practice. There are the following examples of the growers to reduce environmental risk. First is the greenhouse technology, with the using of LED lighting in resulting in higher light intensity and efficiency, and then it can lower their cost. Next is land. Land as a large carbon sink. Soil has an important role to play in climate mitigation, and therefore, strategies to support this status are vital. And we have deficit irrigation in water. It have been found to encourage both above and below ground biomass through activating water stress survival mechanism. And next is we have the fertilizers. It have been a good nutrient management to have a better use of fertilizer. Legislation that aims on minimizing negative effect. And lastly, we have IPM or Integrated Pest Management. From anticipation and planning, correctly identification of the pest, monitoring the pest and the damage, and action thresholds, and implementing control measures. And in the result and discussion, the horticultural value chain has affected virtually every aspect of the environment. But all of the strategies and methods have been seen to have a big impact to help the environment to reduce the negative effect of the production. By understanding and measuring, the scientists and growers have been able to find ways and to minimize their effect on the environment through the use of technology and management strategy.